Good morning, thrivers, not just survivors. Today I've decided that it's hashtag thrivers because I feel like as we've been doing this over the last 57 days, I think that we are in a place where we're learning a lot. We're able to perhaps put in different things in our routines, and I think we're really taking charge of our life. So today, as you know, it's Friday, and we have the doctor in the house. So each Friday, Dr. Cheryl Bryantbruce has, given us her time to shed light on how we can be healthy and have wellness in our life, not just while we are in, stay-at-home orders and the quarantine, and I call it a retreat, but we are here and we're here for a bit of time. But even after COVID-19, I think taking care of our health, that is our greatest wealth, right? And I know it's cliche to say health is wealth, but truly, when we take care of our bodies and what we're ingesting, we are able to create a better life for ourselves and for our families, and even teaching our children in terms of the importance of nutrition. So without further ado, I want to bring Dr. Cheryl Bryantbruce on so that she can shed more light, a different perspective, or a new perspective perhaps for some of you that may not know some of the things that she's going to talk about. So thank you for joining in. Let me bring her on. Oh, she is walking away. So I see that she may want to go put her dog. I'm not sure what she's doing, but anyways, she's going to be talking today about wellness, health, supplements, nutrition. So she's right here. I saw, hey, Cheryl, we saw you kind of walking with the dogs.
Hey there, I was trying to get the wild puppy under control here.
That's okay.
See, we're outside in the country, and the dog just came out of nowhere.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. The background is stunning. My gosh, it looks beautiful where you are.
Thank you so much. It absolutely is. It's going to be a very, very hot day here. I wish I could throw some of that heat in your direction.
Oh, I wish.
But it's lovely.
So I introduced you, and I just said that you're going to talk us through today about nutrition and wellness and how we can, use that in terms of not just being at home now, but even moving forward in terms of just taking care of our health through nutrition. So if you can kind of guide us through that, that would be great.
Well, it's really important at this point in time that people do pay attention to their nutrition. The reason for that is because we need to have good nutrition in order to optimize our immune system. Our immune system is fed by our nutritional status. And if we are not nutritionally sound, then we're going to have weak immunity. And obviously, with this infection going on, we need to have our immunity as strong as it can be in order not to get sick. And even if we do get sick, we want to make sure that our bodies have the best chance of fighting it that they can. So, what we can do is to make sure at this time we have the best possible diet, that we are eating regularly, and that we have the best possible diet that we can have. Most importantly, we want to improve our antioxidant status.
And can you go
Most
a little
people,
bit
I think,
deeper?
most people have heard the term antioxidants, but when you ask people, well, what is an antioxidant? Where do they come from? They have no idea what they are or where they come from. And antioxidants are nutrients that actually help us. The way it works is if you think of it as like a battle, and you think of the enemy soldiers are what we call oxidative stress. And the enemy soldiers are trying to attack our cells. Antioxidants are our soldiers within our bodies that are forming our protective layer. Each cell in our bodies is surrounded by these antioxidant soldiers. And constantly, all day long, doesn't matter what the stress is, there's oxidative stress coming on the front lines and trying to attack our cells. If we are nutritionally sound, we have lots of antioxidants surrounding our cells that neutralize those soldiers, that take them off of the field.
Wow.
Obviously, if you're about to go into battle, you want your soldiers to be well prepared. And how you get them well prepared is by improving your diet, increasing the numbers of antioxidants that are in your system to fight off the oxidative stress. The only place in our diet that we can get antioxidants, there's only two ways of getting antioxidants. And those two ways are by eating fruits and vegetables or by supplementation.
Okay.
A lot of people don't eat fruits and vegetables. If you just ask the average person how many servings of fruits and vegetables they eat, 1 to 2 a week is not an uncommon answer.
Right.
How many servings of fruits and vegetables do you think that you actually need to optimize your health?
I would think at least daily, but I don't know exactly sort of amounts, but I would think daily.
You absolutely are correct. You do need to have fruits and vegetables every single day. And we're not talking small amounts of fruits and vegetables. We're talking 9 to 13 fistful size servings of fruits and vegetables.
Wow.
So it's a lot more than people think. So again, when I say the average person is eating somewhere between 1 to 2 servings a day, and people who really think that they're doing a good job say, "Oh, I eat vegetables every day. I eat 1 or 2 servings every day," and they really believe that they're doing a good job, and it isn't even close to sufficient.
Wow.
So it has to be 9 to 13 servings a day. Now, every day, everybody might not get 9 to 13 every single day. Some days it may be 5, some days it may be 15, but on the average, you're really talking about 9 to 13.
Wow.
So I also mentioned that they should be fistful size servings because people always ask me, well, how much do I really need? And what is a serving size? And serving size actually varies from person to person. Everybody's fist is a different size. Your fist is specific to you. So if I'm feeding a baby fruits and vegetables, I am not going to feed a baby 9 to 13 fistful size servings, my fist size. I'm going to feed the baby's fist size, little teeny small amounts. And then if you're feeding your husband, you're not going to feed him the same serving size as you feed your child and think it's going to be a sufficient amount.
Right. Right. So when you say 9 to 13, it almost sounds like this would be enough for, like, you wouldn't eat anything else if you're eating 9 to 13, like fistful size. It's almost like saying that, the other foods would decrease in the consumption, no?
This is correct. This is correct. The bulk of your diet should be your fruits and vegetables and more on the vegetable side than the fruit side because fruit do contain a fair amount of sugar.
Right.
So, although it is natural sugar, you don't want to overload on fruit. So, you really should have more vegetables in that balance. Where most people load their plates we're talking, people always talk about a balanced plate and having your protein and your vegetable and your starches and so on. Where most people load their plates is with starches.
Hmm.
They may have rice, they may have pasta, they also have breads. That's where the bulk of the calories come from. it's carbohydrates. And that is what we want the smallest amount of.
Right. Right. I have a
Looking
question.
the
I actually have a question from one of
Yeah.
our audience members. She's asking, is juicing a good alternative if you're trying to get in as many servings as possible?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Juicing is a very good alternative, especially for those people who say, I really hate vegetables and I'm not going to eat them. If you're one of those people, I really don't care how you get them. You can
Right.
get them any kind of way you can. But juicing is a good alternative because a lot of people are really, really in a hurry these days. Now, that's the one nice thing about COVID-19. It has slowed everybody down. We're all sheltering in, we're taking time to connect. And I'm loving that part. It actually has slowed people down. But in our busy lives on a regular basis, we're running to the office, we're running here, we're running there. There's activities for the kids, and we've got a class over here. We're running, running, running. And it's hard to get our meals in, and people resort to fast foods and things like that. So their nutritional content tends to go down significantly. If, however, you can juice in the morning and take yourself a nice tall thermos of juice, then that's a good thing. And I say juice, but I actually really am talking more about smoothies
Right.
because they tend to be more filling and we can actually use those as a meal. And that's what you're going to be taking with you throughout the day. But you can juice as well. Now, the reason I said yes and no, however, is that there are two things. One, a lot of people, when they talk about juicing and smoothies, they are talking about cups and cups of fruit. And then they're adding a little sugar or a little honey. And especially if they're making a green smoothie, they've added some fruit and, well, the kale or whatever veggie I'm putting in may be a little bit bitter to my taste. And so I'm going to add sugar to sweeten it up. That's not a good thing. If you add too much fruit, if you add too much sugar to the smoothie, then you're creating insulin spikes to try and take that sugar out of your bloodstream. And what you end up with the result of is you end up with diabetes. So you want to be careful for that. I did have one of my patients was doing a good thing. We had talked about fruits and vegetables. He started juicing using a lot of fruit and less vegetables because he wasn't as fond of vegetables as he was of fruit. He was using good fruit, albeit, however, it was still too much fruit. And all of a sudden, he was in that diabetic category. And he was like, well, I've never had this problem. He probably already had a propensity towards diabetes, but he definitely pushed himself over the cliff. So
Right.
you want to be careful about not putting too much fruit in smoothies and in your drinks in the morning, even if it's a green drink.
Right.
The other thing about it is how it's prepared. I am a huge fan of the Vitamix food processor.
Hmm.
As opposed to just juicers. And people talk about cold pressed juice is the big thing right now. There's nothing wrong with cold pressed juice in small amounts. It does give you lots of nutrients and such. The thing with juicing, however, is we are trying to get the vegetable intake in. If you just extract the juice from the vegetables, you are losing a lot in translation. That vegetable is a perfect food in and of itself. And when you extract the juice, one of the big things you leave behind is fiber.
Right.
And that fiber is very important for us nutritionally. It provides roughage, it helps the digestive system to function properly. It also helps to control the blood sugar by slowing the transition of sugar into the system because the body has to break it down. And so the entry of the sugar into the system is at a much lower pace. So it is better to use a good processor like the Vitamix that actually processes the whole plant. We talk about whole foods. We want to use that whole plant. The entire plant has nutrients.
Hmm. That's really good information in terms of keeping all of the benefits of that fruit or vegetable, right, intact, even though if
Yes,
we're bringing it to a different state, let's say, right? Because if you're going from the whole to the
right.
juice, you're losing something there in translation, like you said. That is really interesting because though I'm not a juicer and I'd rather have my fruits and vegetables just the way they are, can you just sort
Yeah.
of shed some light on this about, when you're boiling a vegetable like broccoli and are you losing some of the
Yeah.
nutrients when we're boiling things and or cooking them?
Again, that's one of those yes and no kind of questions because there are a lot of fruits. I mean, a lot of vegetables and fruits too, because fruits can be boiled as well. I don't actually recommend boiling fruits and vegetables. I recommend steaming fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
And the reason being, fruits and vegetables, they're plants. They have a cell wall. And for some fruits and vegetables, that cell wall is a little bit thicker or harder, per se, than others, and so may not break down as easily digestively. For example, cows eat grass and they get plenty of nutrients out of the grass. If we eat grass, we're not going to fare so well because we're not able to break it down in the same way that a cow can.
Mm-hmm.
So some of our vegetables are the same way. It's not as severely as grass, but they may not break down as easily. So by lightly steaming them, even lightly boiling them, I'm again not a huge fan of boiling.
Mm-hmm.
Steaming is much better. If we lightly steam them, then we are able to break those cell walls down, releasing the nutrients within. At the same time, what we don't want to do, what a lot of people do, is they throw the vegetables into the water and then they just boil them until they turn into mush. And then they take the vegetables out of the water, and you look in the pan and there's all this pretty colored water left behind. You've left your nutrients in the pot. You
Oh.
have boiled a lot of the nutrients out of the vegetable and left it behind in the pot. The other thing about that, though, is that if you're boiling the fruits and vegetables at high heat, you're also denaturing the proteins in the vegetables. And so, again, you're losing some of the nutrients. Even more important than that, though, one of the worst things that people do to their fruits and vegetables is put them into the microwave.
Mm.
And the microwave does denature the enzymes in the plants. And so it basically, a plant is a living thing and it has cellular function. The fresher the plant, the more of that cellular activity is going on. When you put it into the microwave, that's it. It stops all of that cellular activity. And so you lose some of the nutritional value.
Wow. So interesting in terms of some of the habits that we've formed in terms of our busy lives. And the microwave is one of them because it's so quick and fast and we're just ready to go to the
Yes.
next thing. And so it's become like our lifesaver, but yet it's actually counterproductive if we're not getting the nutrients we need.
Well, really, when you think about it, our lifestyle has done a lot towards reducing our nutritional status, whether it be because we're microwaving our food or over boiling it, or because we're running out and getting fast food with very little nutritional value.
Right,
It
right. And
even affects the way that we it
so
even
that,
affects the way that we shop for our food.
right.
A lot of people who are very, very much in tune to their nutritional needs will shop at farmers markets and will shop seasonally so that they're getting the freshest vegetables, not things that have been picked unripe and then transferred onto a truck and shipped halfway across the world, again, losing nutritional value with each passing day.
So that's a really good point too, to be seasonal, like to get the foods that are in season, farmers market and fresh items, because then we're buying local, and we're really aware of the things that we're putting into our bodies. So that
Yes,
leads me to
yes.
my next question, which is, let's say that you're not getting these, even when with your best efforts, right? We all have good intentions, and I can tell you that even though I try, I fail miserably if you say 9 to 13. That's not happening. So what is my next step? Like my plan B. If I can't do all of it all the time, how can we supplement and become still very nutritionally balanced?
Well, again, as I said, the only way that you can really get antioxidants if you are not eating them in fruits and vegetables is through supplementation. Most of our other nutrients we can get across the spectrum of the foods that we eat, but only antioxidants we only get in fruits and vegetables. When we're not able to do that, then the next best thing is to supplement. And it's important that you get a high quality supplement. There are lots and lots of supplements on the market. Supplements is one of those areas that is really kind of the wild, wild west. They're fairly unregulated. Unfortunately, a lot of supplements are being made up in somebody's garage, and then a label is slapped on them, and they say this is what it is, but we don't have any clue whether that's really what it is or not. The New York State Attorney General actually pulled product off of the shelves of 5 major retailers, and they found that most of them did not contain the ingredients that they claimed were in the active ingredients in the quantities that they were claimed were in there. And a lot of the herbals didn't contain any of the ingredients at all and contained things like houseplants. And they even found insect particles and dust and such in those products. So they pulled them off of the shelves, gave them a cease and desist order, told them that they had to repair the situation. When they came back and rechecked, they still found some of the same problems.
Wow.
So you don't know necessarily what you're getting unless the products are high quality. The more high quality supplements will tend to have a certification. Some of them have even been vetted to the level of a drug. They cannot make the claims of being a drug because if they are supplements, then they really are considered nutritionals. But they may have been vetted to that level to determine the quality and that they really do contain exactly what they say they contain. One of the things that I think is really, really important for people to know is a lot of people are buying their supplements now off of Amazon and at big box stores like here in the US we have Costco. I don't know if you have Costco there. But yeah, they're buying their supplements in these big box stores because they're cheaper. Again, it actually costs a fair amount of money to make a high quality supplement. And part of the reason behind that is there has to be enough science behind the supplement to make sure that not only is it delivering the nutrients, but it's delivering the nutrients in a form that your body can absorb them.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you have 100% of the nutrient in the product. If it's not delivered in a form that your body can use, it's almost like getting nothing. It
Mm,
doesn't matter if it cost you $1 and you got 5,000 pills, but in those 5,000 pills, there are nutrients that your body can't use. You've basically wasted your money.
right.
Places like Amazon, you don't know what you're getting. There are a lot of knockoffs, and again, you don't know where they're being sourced from. So I recommend when people are buying supplements, especially if they're trying to buy them online, it's important to go to the manufacturer's website and order directly from the manufacturer or order directly from the appropriate distributor of the product, because then you know exactly what you're getting. You know that you're not getting a knockoff. You know that there's a guarantee on that product that it is what they say it is. So I really don't recommend people buy anything that they are going to consume or that they are going to put on their body directly from Amazon. And when I say what they're going to put on their body directly, I'm not talking about clothes. I'm talking about things like lotion and makeup that you're applying directly to your skin. The reason being, your skin is the largest organ of your body. So while we're slathering all of this wonderful, luxurious lotion on our skin, if that lotion is toxic or contains ingredients that should not be in our body, guess what? Our body is now absorbing it in large quantities because our body does absorb what we place on our skin.
Right. So
So,
I do want to, I mean, I'm going to put up the site again, but there was a question that came up when you were talking about fruits and vegetables. So I want to just make sure that we answer it because the audience, just making sure that we're getting to it. So she's asking, what about frozen fruits and vegetables? Are those the same nutrients as well, or would they be, again, lower in nutrient content?
actually, depending on where you're sourcing your fruits and vegetables, frozen fruits and vegetables can have higher nutritional content than the fresh ones. If you are going to the market and you are buying local and you are buying seasonal, then those fruits and vegetables are fresh. And you remember I said your fruits and vegetables are a plant. They are a living being. The closer you eat them to the ground from when they were freshly picked, the more nutritional value you have.
Okay.
If they've been sitting on shelves, if they've been shipped in trucks, so on and so forth, each day they're losing nutritional value. The frozen vegetables tend to go from the field to the manufacturing plant, and then they're immediately flash frozen. When that happens, the nutrients are preserved. So if you are not buying local, then that is probably the next best thing.
That's a really good question. Thanks, Manon, for asking that because, sometimes people may think, well, if it's frozen, it's already lost everything. So just, eat whatever, right? Like sometimes it's the logic that doesn't make sense in whichever way you want to spin it. So, that's a great question.
Yes.
So where can, what site would I be giving
I
my, oh,
I
go ahead.
I actually am going to add on to that because she asked about frozen. Let's talk about canned.
Okay.
Canned is probably the least nutritious way to eat your vegetables. Why? Because the canning process means that it is subjected to extremely high heat. And we talked about that high heat denaturing and breaking down the nutritional value. So canning is a good process in terms of making sure that there are no bacteria and such in the food that are going to make us sick, but it also does reduce the nutritional value of the food.
Again, a very
So if you have if you have your druthers, it's going to be fresh, local. And then if it's coming from not too far away, other fresh, frozen. And then last on the list is going to be your canned fruits and vegetables.
Right. And I guess this is where we become a little bit more conscious if we really want to take this journey of nutrition, nutritional awareness and benefits to ourselves, is to create a plan that helps us get to that. So it's not maybe going to be like, cold turkey tomorrow. I'm only going to buy local and I'm going to do this for 9 to 13, right? It's a gradual process of including these things and becoming accustomed to it, and then creating a menu plan and making sure that you have all the ingredients. So it's about sort of that planning, right? That we can become a little bit more consciously aware.
Yes, and that's actually an important thing that you bring, because I say that in order to optimize your health, you need 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. But realistically, if you only are eating 1 or 2 servings a week, 9 to 13 servings every day is an unrealistic goal for most people to just out of the box cold turkey obtain. So what I do with my patients, I recommend, it's like, can you commit to me to eating 1 serving extra of fruits and vegetables a day? And most people can do that. And if you get a nice dinner plate sized salad, guess what? In just adding that salad, you didn't add 1 serving, you added 4 fistful size servings of fruits and vegetables. So just with that one move, adding a big salad a day, you've added 4 in. And even if you just add a tiny little salad in, you've got 1 serving of fistful size serving fruits and vegetables a day. So it is doable, but be realistic about what you can do and take it in in baby steps, baby steps. Don't go jump off of the cliff. And also, don't beat yourself up because I am going to do 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Oh, I failed at that, so I'm just going to throw it all away.
Right.
Just baby steps. Increase your amounts as you can.
Yeah. And I think that's the key, right? Is you can't beat yourself up about it, but you can become aware and just sort of take it in your own way, because we all have different schedules and different things that we can do for ourselves at work. So I think that's a really good point. So I want to direct people, if they are looking for more information, is this a good site where it says Dr. Cheryl at mynewskin.com? Would this be for more information, maybe supplements that they can look at? Would this be a good place to start?
Yes, this I actually endorse this particular company, and the nutritional line is Pharmanex. They have one of the most absorbable platforms out there. I highly endorse this company. We do have a way of measuring nutrition now, and using a device that we get from the NIH, we are able to measure how effective supplements are in increasing the antioxidant status. And this particular company I have vetted, and I know that they're very effective in increasing that nutritional status.
That's amazing.
So in so doing, increasing the antioxidant status, we're able to optimize our health. We're able to increase our immunity.
That's awesome. So I think, you know what?
The other site,
Yeah, I'm going to put the
the
other one
other
up
site that,
so you can explain it.
yes, the other site is there because a lot of people are, the site that I recommended with the Pharmanex products is an excellent site, but there are other sites out there. I mean, there are other supplements out there that people may already be on, and that's fine. If you are on a supplement that actually works well for you, then that's great. I put this Wellevate site up because it is basically some place where they can go and get the discounts on a lot of the more popular brands of supplements and know where they're coming from, as opposed to going to Amazon because it's cheaper or Costco because it's cheaper. They can go to Wellevate, get those products know that what they're getting is really the product, and it'll be at a discounted price. The other thing about the Wellevate site is that I have actually vetted some of those nutritionals, and I only list the higher quality ones on that Wellevate site. I mean, Wellevate, the bigger site, has pretty much every supplement known to man on it, but some of them are not as high of a quality. And so the ones that are of higher quality have what they call the gold or the silver standard, and those are the only ones that I list in my platform.
That's awesome. You know what? I think for those of us who are on a quest, on a journey to learn more, it's a good place because the online world, of course, there's information galore of everything and anything, and sometimes it's too much noise for us because a confused mind does nothing. And so in terms of at least having a site where you can start doing some research, knowing things are vetted, knowing where it's coming from, the quality of the product, so even though when we're purchasing things,
you're going to hear a lot of noise in the background here for a second because we have a car pulling out.
okay, I'll just give it a
There
second.
you go.
Yeah, no problem. So I just kind of wanted to, reiterate, right? Because there's so much online, there's so much information that it could be confusing for people. It's nice to know that we can go to a site where there's somebody who's actually vetted it, or at least had some say, in terms of trying looking at certain products because of the quality of content that's in there. So that I really appreciate. I think for those people that are watching this now or on replay will be able to go to your site and be able to check the information and do what's right for them. So I think that is imperative, right? You do what you feel right, what's right for you and your family. I really want to thank you. I know I've taken up a bit extra time today, but your topic was really, I think, needed and interesting. And I really appreciate your time that you take on Fridays to come on my show and just shed some light and help people out. So I want to thank you. I want to wish you a wonderful weekend. Is there any parting words that you want to say before we sign off?
I just want to say this is a different time that we're going through. A lot of people are stressed about it. Don't worry, be happy.
That's awesome. I think that's, you know what, we're going to take that to the weekend, and I wish you well. I can't wait to see you next Friday. And, lots of love to you and your family. I'm going to close this off with just wishing you all a wonderful weekend. Thank you for tuning in and asking your questions. Join us next Friday if you want to hear Dr. Cheryl again with sharing some more insights on health and wellness. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. I am so glad that you've joined me on this week's journey. I can't wait for next week. Lots of love to you. Be kind to yourself and to each other. See you next week.